everybody, I'm Simon. Lovely to meet you. When I was a kid, I used to play a game called The Floor is Lava. And it absolutely wound my parents up. Have you ever played it yourself? Yeah, a few people have. If you haven't heard of it, the objective of the game is really simple. You're going to go from one side of the room to the other as fast as you can, but you can't touch the floor because the floor is lava. Yeah, that's it, exactly. So you can jump on the sofa, you can jump on a chair, you can throw a pillow on the floor, you have a chandelier, you can swing from it, whatever it takes to get to the other side of the room. Just don't break the vase, or apparently your mum will be quite upset with you, as she was with me. Now, I don't know about you, but running a business in 2026 feels an awful lot like playing the game The Floor is Lava. Very simply, the pace of technological change, AI, and all these different systems is more difficult than ever, isn't it, to run a business? We are all playing The Floor is Lava. So, quick show of hands when it comes to the topic of AI. How many people in the room use tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Copilot? Don't be shy, put them up if you use them. That's pretty much everybody in the room. Fantastic. Now, don't put your hands up for this, but let me ask you this question and tell me through your facial expressions. Do these tools make you a little bit nervous? Do they make you a little bit concerned? Would you say you understand, actually, how this technology works? Now, a lot of the fear about these systems comes from the fact we may not actually know how they work. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend the first half of this talk explaining how this technology works. That's the how. And what's the why? If we can understand how this technology works, we can see how we can apply it to our own businesses. Now, you might not be able to tell, but I am something of a nerd. I love anything to do with code, anything to do with computers. So I was trying to think to myself, what can I do to make this more fun? So, everybody look at your tables and pick up one of these, and you should find there is a pen. We're going to be playing AI bingo together. So throughout this talk, I'm going to come out with certain buzzwords. You'll see what they are. They're all written on here. Just mark them off as I go. You just need to complete a line, either horizontal or vertical. And the first person who shouts out AI bingo at the top of their voice will win this lovely bottle of wine from Making Numbers. Fantastic. Okay. So there are 4 fundamental things to make this incredible technology work that needs to work in sequence. So this is the first. What I'd love you to do for a moment is imagine that you are inside a gigantic library. Now this library is full of millions and millions of books. Now you've got storybooks, you've got autobiographies, every scientific paper that has ever been written. But this library is special. You see, this library also has access to the internet. And what it's done, it's gone out onto the internet and it's read every website, every blog. If there is a transcript available from a YouTube video, it's picked that book up off the shelf, flipped through its pages, and it's not understanding the words, it's trying to find the patterns within those words. It's trying to figure out, what do these words mean? How do they become sentences? How do they become paragraphs? Okay, so that's step 1. It's doing lots and lots of learning. The second step is really cool. So computers, they don't speak the same way we speak. They don't understand words, so what they need to do is put those words into numbers. And what it does, it clusters those words that are similar together. So for example, cat and dog, or king and queen. And it puts these words together in a close 3D space in the software. So let me give you an example. Let's imagine you jump onto ChatGPT and you were to type in a prompt, something along the lines of, what fun things are there to do in Paragon? Now ChatGPT might come out with something similar like, go to Betty's Tea Room because they do delicious coffee and amazing fat rascals, of which I'm a big fan. You see, it would have clustered all of those words together, knowing that that would be the sentiment that needed to be expressed. So words into numbers, clustering similar words close together. Now the third step is really cool. How are we getting on with the AI bingo, by the way, so far? You all marking it off? Excellent, lovely, good, good, good. I do want to give away this bottle of wine, otherwise I'm going to get very tipsy later. Okay, so this third bit is really clever. It's all about prediction and patterns. Oh, I can see you marking a few off. Lovely. What I'd love you to do is finish this sentence for me. I'd just like you to finish off the last word. Let's see if you can predict the pattern. You ready? The cat sat on the...
Rat.
Did you say rat? Let's try that again, and everybody get involved. The cat sat on the... Ah, fantastic. It's like ChatGPT is in the room with me. Fantastic. Now, how do you know that the cat sat on the mat? Well, we've been raised since childhood to know that that's a really easy sentence to put together. But an AI system, it has no idea what a cat is. It actually doesn't know what a mat is. So instead, it needs to use that probability at scale to figure out what word should come next. All it's doing is predicting things. So what have we had so far? We've had that vast library of information for it to learn on, that great big pattern engine. You've had that embedding space where all those words have been turned into numbers, and now it's predicting what word should come next in a sentence. Now, all of that is pretty standard stuff. That technology has actually been around for decades. If you send a text message to somebody, the autocomplete part of that is already a type of AI. It's just predicting what word you want. So there is another thing that you need to bring all of this together. Now, I was trying to think of a really simple way to explain this part of the sequence. And it just so happened that I was having a delicious lasagna at the time, and I thought that is a great analogy for AI systems. Why? Well, because AI and lasagna, they're all made up of different layers. You've got a beautiful creamy base, perhaps, you've got your filling, and then you've got a layer of pasta, and then it repeats itself again and again and again. Now imagine that is the structure. So when you're writing code or you're working on a computer system to make AI work, you're building it up in these different layers. Now if you're a data scientist, you would call this a transformer model. And this is the technology that Google invented all the way back in 2017. But in order for those transformer models to make sense, for those different layers of lasagna to work, it needs to pay attention to what word is important. And when it detects what word is important, it passes those words up all the different layers of that digital lasagna. Does that make sense? Or does that sound like a whole load of word salad? Let me give it to you in a very simple sentence. The dog chased the ball because it was red. Now that's really easy for you and me to understand, but for a computer, that's actually quite hard. You see, an AI system has to know that the word ball relates to the word it. So it uses that mathematical sequence called attention to tell it that it relates to ball. Oh, there you go. So we put all those things together, and suddenly you've got all the ingredients that you need to make a large language model or an LLM system.
AI.
Oh, who was the first? You were the loudest. Were you the first? Oh my goodness, somebody help me out here. I'm going to go with the person nearest to me. Oh, I'm sorry, but you were the first one to shout it out. Well done. Congratulations. Well done. Now that doesn't mean you have to switch off now. I still want you to pay attention. So mark off as many words as you can. Lovely. So let's get into the kind of the psychology of all of this stuff, because have you guys heard of the Turing test, where a machine could give you an output that seems really real, almost human? Yeah. Well, it feels like that now, doesn't it? In many ways. But this is really important. A machine doesn't think in the same way we do. When we learn something, we gain experience. And as we grow up, we develop ethics and morals that we apply to things. An AI system has none of that. So let me ask you this. If you are a regular power user of these different systems, have you ever noticed how occasionally it gives you a completely wrong answer? Something that's completely made up. Maybe something like this. I was able to trick ChatGPT earlier to tell me that Harrogate was the capital of England. When was it? The 1762, because London ran out of tea, which, as we know, is very important to us here in Harrogate. Completely made up. Now, how do these mistakes happen? Because this is really important to understand. These are called hallucinations inside AI systems. And they happen because all they're doing is looking at patterns and trying to predict what word should come next. So if you're running a business, what does this mean for us? It means don't just blindly copy and paste whatever it is that you see on these AI outputs. Always check the sources, because it could just frankly make it all up. Okay, so let's go over the how one more time. We start off with step one. It learns on a gigantic database, a massive library of information. Second, it turns those words into numbers and it clusters similar words close together. Then, using prediction and probability, it predicts which word should come next. And finally, in that last stage, that big digital lasagna, it goes up through those different layers as it tries to pay attention to what word comes next. So that's the how. What about the why? Why did I go through all of them? Well, if you remember nothing else of my explanation, just remember this. All an AI system is amazing at detecting patterns. It is a pattern-generating machine. Now, if you run a business, nearly everything we do in business relies on patterns. Cash flow is a pattern. Sales is a pattern. Even customer service is a pattern. If a pattern exists within a business, that's where an AI system can come in and help us improve our bottom line, improve our productivity, and make us all more profitable. Does that sound good? So here are 3 little use cases that I put together that are completely free for you to do. You can try this week. And by the way, if you scan the QR code, which is on the AI bingo side of these little sheets, take them home with you. Scan that QR code in and you'll be able to look at the use cases that I'm just about to cover. Okay, so the first one is this. Hands up if you've ever left a Google review for a business. Yeah? Keep your hands up if you use Trustpilot to write a review. Fantastic. So all of us are familiar with these systems. Great stuff. Now, if you have reviews written about your business now, did you know your customers have already written your next series of social media posts and ad headlines? What am I talking about? Well, very simply, try this. If you were to go onto your own Google reviews or your own LinkedIn reviews or wherever your reviews are hosted, copy and paste all of them into a program like ChatGPT. Ask it to detect what are the patterns, what are the themes of these customer reviews. And then it'll give you an output in about 30 seconds, which is really useful stuff. Great for helping you grow the business in general. But then ask it, based on these reviews, what could I do as a social media post to find other happy customers like mine? And then before you know it, it'll come out with 10 amazing headlines based entirely on your own business patterns. Does that sound good? If you like that one, you're going to love this one. Now, hands up if you have a favorite customer. I do, but I'm not going to tell you who it is. Do you have a favorite customer, or are you too scared to put your hands up? Oh, I've got a couple of nervous people in the room. Okay, well, we all have a favorite customer. I guarantee you, we all have a favorite customer. Not everybody is equal. Now, if you could clone your favorite customer, as in find somebody who matches all of their traits, would that be pretty awesome for you? Ooh, a lot of nods. Excellent. Okay. So here's how you can make this work. This week, when you go back, list 20 traits that make that person your favorite customer. So for example, it could be, what industry do they work in? How long have they been in business for? How long did it take for you to take that person from a prospect, as in a sales lead, all the way over to becoming a confirmed sale? Input all of this data, even copy and paste the director's LinkedIn profile into Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT. Next step, ask that system to then analyze those patterns and give you a result. And you'll find that there are some themes within there that we won't see as human beings because they're quite complex. The next thing, Make a note of this, Apollo.ai. This is a fantastic system that I use nearly every day. And what it does, it can find customers who have those same patterns, those same traits, and it combines all of that data and puts it together. And it scanned the successful patterns and emails of over 100 million businesses. And it finds people who are just like your favorite customer. Meaning that you can then have an output to be able to reach those ones and clone them. Fantastic. Okay, third use case, in which you can use AI in a slightly different way. Have you ever done a sales pitch to a business and everything was going great? They loved you, you were vibing, you were joking about golf, whatever it might be. They said, I promise, I'm going to get back to you next week, and then you never hear from them again. Has that ever happened? It sucks, doesn't it? It is the worst. It is the ultimate form of ghosting that nobody wants. So why do they disappear? Especially if you can't get hold of them ever again. There will be a pattern there that an AI system can help you detect. So try this. Upload the last 20 sales proposals that you did, the ones that you won and the ones that you lost, and tell the AI systems the ones you won and the ones you lost. A brief description of each company. Get it to look for the patterns within the ones you lost compared to the ones you won. And there will be a reason why that person ghosted you, especially if you copy and paste all of your email history between the interactions. It will find something subtle that you will miss. Guarantee it every time. So let me ask you this question. Where do human beings fit into the AI equation? Because we've all seen the news headlines. AI is coming for our jobs. We're not going to have a small business anymore. Everyone's going to be destitute and desperate because Elon Musk or somebody else like that has taken all of our money from all of our jobs. We've all seen that, haven't we? Miserable future. Is that going to happen? Well, who knows with regards to all of that sort of stuff, but I can tell you this. AI is really good at generating patterns, but human beings are really good at finding the meanings within those patterns. Let me give you an example. About a month or so ago, I went out and I visited a potential new customer. And they'd used ChatGPT to come up with their marketing plan. And you know what? It was a really solid marketing plan. It was really, really good. But it said one thing that was just a little bit off. It told this person that in your industry, fear-based headlines outperform all others. Let me say that again. In your industry, fear-based headlines outperform all others. Any guess as to this person's industry?
Politics.
Politics. That'd be an interesting one if it was, wouldn't it? Any other guesses? Journalism, what was that?
Funeral director.
Funeral directors, yeah, that would work, wouldn't it? It was a vet. And you know what the ad was that the system suggested? Vaccinate your cat before it's too late. It's a bit dark, isn't it? A bit dark. Is the pattern correct? Yes, absolutely. If you love your cat, you will want to make sure it gets vaccinated. But this is where the human being comes into the equation. A human being can look at that and go, do I want to build trust or do I want to build fear? That's brand. That's leadership. That's the difference that a human being can bring to this AI equation. So when people ask me about the opportunities and threats when it comes to AI systems, there are lots of opportunities and there are lots of threats. But genuinely, I think it comes down to this. AI systems are either going to help you with your competitive edge or dull your uniqueness. Now, this is all in the tool. It's not in the tool. It's in how you decide to use that tool. So, all of us are playing the game, the floor is lava, whether we want to or not as business owners. But just remember this. AI systems are really good at detecting patterns, but we're really good as human beings about putting the meaning into things. AI can tell you what works, but human beings can tell you what matters. And it's that difference where real leadership is. Thank you very much.